How can you learn medical German fast? As someone who has been able to learn the language from scratch and reach fluency within a period of 1 year, I've observed a number of very painful mistakes, but also discovered some very smart strategies. Let me just highlight some of the things for you to save you some time and some stress. Now, let me be honest with you. Just before you dive into even learning the language, it is very important to know why you want to learn the language. The right goal of why you want to learn the language determines the speed at which you will learn the language. If your goal is very compelling, then it makes everything easy. So the reason why you want to learn German in the first place, or medical German for that matter, really plays a big role. So to begin with, medical German lies on the high end of the spectrum of the CEFR classification of the German language. It's the perfect balance between the comfortable conversational German and the basic technical medical knowledge. The first guarantee that you are going to be successful in this venture of learning German is if you have a good foundation of the language, also known as the Umgangssprache. You should be able to hold a number of conversations and sustain a conversation on a wide range of topics, maybe from politics to family to football to whatever. It is very important that you have a wonderful foundation of the normal German language in the first place. In other words, you should be able to understand people as they express themselves, but also you should be able to express yourself very comfortably. In case you're not yet at this level, I recommend this video. Please check it out. I talk about how you can be able to learn the language very fast. I mean the normal German language. So you want to check out that video right there. And if you are past that level, then here let me talk about the technique before I talk about some of the wonderful game-changing materials that I use that will be able to help you surmount this problem. So what is the technique? The technique here is called immersion. This is a point where you really want to just immerse yourself in the language as much as possible. In other words, you're bombarding yourself with the language from all angles at every single point in your time, and that helps a lot. You should actually, one person was joking with me and was telling me that you should be able to even dream German. Why is that so? Is because you want to keep yourself familiar with the techniques of the language and the intricacies of every part of the language, and this helps to actually reinforce your memory of your foundational language. We know that memory has actually a half-life, and that the longer you take without exposing yourself to something, you are able to forget it. The idea is immersion, just to immerse yourself in the language as much as possible, to stay connected and one with the language. Now that we know the technique is immersion, I think it's at this point that I bring the materials which you should be able to use for you to be able to learn medical German very fast. And for this particular thing, of course, I recommend two very important materials. The number one material I recommend is called it's a book called Versprachung erfolgreich bestehen. It's a book written by a lady called Stefania Christina. It's a very wonderful book. And the other second material that I would recommend is this book. It's called Deutsch für Medizin. It's written by a lady called Maria Kotz. These are both wonderful books. I mean, I have used both of them. They are very wonderful. For me, of course, the best of them is actually this when it comes to medical conditions, and when it comes to just learning the medical language itself, it's this here. Although I used both of them and I highly recommend both of them, you have to simply just be diligent to read the materials and get the cases, get the definitions, the causes of the diseases, get the explanations in German. Some of the things are for learning. The Germans call it auswendig, for just learning off head and having them. Although the FSP is actually testing the language and whether you're able to carry out a conversation between you and the patient and then relay on the information later, kind of like a long case. It doesn't end with a conversation, my brother or my sister. This test actually tests kind of your medical knowledge as well, because remember, you're going to converse about medical cases. So it's not like you're just going to converse, oh, how is the taxi, or how is that? No, you're going to talk about medical things. So you need to get a hold of real materials. So now that we know the technique and we have the materials, how do we actually go about it in detail? There are 10 things actually I recommend. There are study groups. If you can get a study group, there are quite a number on Signal and Telegram. If you can just get into one group, at this point, you're basically just doing, they call them Simulationen. That's option number one. Option number two is if you can do an unpaid internship called Hospitation. It helps a big deal when you go to hospital and be in the real setting and clerk real patients and discuss with real people. It helps a big deal. The third option, which I also personally participated in, is there is a course that you can do that helps to pay for this exam. It can be done online. I mean, during this course, we had a number of people attending this course from outside of Germany. Some people in Tunisia, others are in Turkey, in different other places. So it's a 1 month 3-month intensive preparation course for the exam. And then there is this wonderful app that has really helped me. I know many of you guys should be knowing about this, of course. This app called Anki. It has done the magic for me. What I do is I just keep on feeding in the information. It's an AI combination of spaced repetition and active recall, which helps in reinforcing the memory. So it has helped me a big deal in practicing for this exam, and I think I kindly also recommend it. Some people, it doesn't work for them. Some people speak bad about Anki, but personally it has worked for me. I used it a lot in medical school, and it might also work for you. So if you've enjoyed the video, you might want to check out this other playlist where I talk about how you're able to apply for the medical licensing exam in Germany, or this other playlist here where I talk about life in Germany. If you have not yet, please consider subscribing to the channel and like the video, and it would be nice if you leave a comment in case you have any specific question. And until the next one, bye and peace.